So what are you reading these days? You said you've been trying to read some more.
Yes, I have been reading Alan Arnold's new book, The Eden Option.
You should check it out. We talk, and if you've been tracking with us for any length of time, you know that especially Britt and I, we talk a lot about story 1 versus story 2. And then every time I try to make Britt, imagine nobody knows what this means. Explain it. Well, this is actually basically the source material for that concept of story 1, the story that you're pursuing with God. It's one of mystery versus story 2, which is the story the world tries to get you to live. So
I actually just referenced it in my new blog post on my
dun,
blog, forgedinfilm.org. I just dropped the blog post last week on The Matrix, and I referenced Alan's story 1 and story 2 in the scene where Neo has to choose between the red pill and the blue pill. So
you're a slave, Neo. The world has been pulled over your eyes.
Well, I love one of the things that Alan says in the book that I think is fantastic is he's like, if you're living, a story 2 life versus a story 1 life, which would you rather watch a documentary on?
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's good. I like that. So I put in my blog, I was like, which story would you rather watch Neo doing? Going home and Netflix and chilling and, like ordering Chinese food?
The Blue Pill is a really short movie.
Yeah. Or would you rather, watch him take the red pill and no kung fu and,
right.
everything else, so yeah, I liked that analogy. That was really cool. So I've been reading that. I've been reading The War of Art.
That's a good one.
Me this for Christmas, which I'd never read before, and I'm really enjoying that. And I've been reading Stephen King's The Eyes of the Dragon. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's really good. Like I don't like everything that Stephen King writes. I'm not a huge horror fan, but some of his stuff like The Stand and different seasons, those are great. The Eyes of the Dragon is a fantasy novel. It's a high fantasy novel, and it's about actually the guy Randall Flagg from The Stand has a cameo in one of his other guises. He's just a wizard called Flagg in it, but basically it's about 2 brothers who are both princes, and the wizard Flagg kind of wants one of the brothers to become king over the other one because he's more easily controlled, and so it's just about all of that. But it's really well written and very cool, like definitely a different take. But I guess he wrote it originally for his daughter because his daughter came to him one day and she's like, "Dad, no offense, I really hate all of your books." She just was not into the horror stuff at all.
I was reading them. I read a lot of Stephen King stuff like in high school and college, and I was like, I gotta take a break because it makes me feel evil.
Yeah, it gets inside your head. It really brings you down after a while.
You're looking for the ulterior motives of everyone around you. You're like,
yeah, it's
freaky.
But I mean, The Stand, and my favorite book by Stephen King of all time is 11/22/63. That's just such a great book. But Eyes of the Dragon is really great, and I hadn't read it in a while, and I was looking for some kind of fairy tale-ish fantasy something, to read for inspiration, so I picked that up again. So that's been really good.
Oh, that's interesting. I read over the holidays time frame. I read the Patrick Rothfuss first 2 books, of the King Killer Chronicles, where he wrote the first 2 of 3, and it over 10 years ago, and he's taken forever. I think he and George Martin are in a race to figure out who can not finish their series faster.
Who can not finish? Oh man! Oh, that reminds me. You know what else I've been reading is the Paradise War.
Oh, from the Song of Albion.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm listening to the audiobook because it's a really great audiobook. But I'd never read it before, and Alan Arnold keeps bugging me that I have to read it, and other people keep telling me, why haven't you read any Lawhead at all? Get on the ball. So I've been listening to that, and it's a really great audiobook. The narrator's terrific, and it's very captivating. It's fascinating stuff. I really like it.
Yep. That's actually where we get our tagline for the outro music. Yep.
Yeah.
So stick around to hear the end of the music. If you were like, what are you talking about? Listen to our outro music.
I was listening to the audiobook when that quote came on, and I was like, oh, I know this.
I know where this came from.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
Yeah, I actually had my buddy Tim Willard read that one.
You mean Tim Willard, who wrote The Beauty Chasers?
Yes, the same one. Yep. So, yeah, man, we are dropping names like it's hot around here tonight.